Sisters and brothers of America, it fills my heart with joy unspeakable to rise in response to the warm and cordial welcome which you have given us. I thank you in the name of the most ancient order of monks in the world. I thank you in the name of the mother of religions. And I thank you in the name of the millions and millions of Hindu people of all classes and sects. My thanks also to some of the speakers on this platform who, referring to the delegates from the Orient, have told you that these men from far-off nations may well claim the honor of bearing to different lands the idea of toleration.
Hello little friends, welcome back to this session of online story time. Today our topic is Vivekananda and the people of Madras. So let's start with a mantra. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityur Ma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Swami Vivekananda's deep connection with Madras is a glorious chapter of his wonderful and eventful life. You may wonder how so? Start counting. 1. This city of Madras was the first to recognize Vivekananda's greatness when he had come here as an unknown wandering monk. Till now, in individual capacity, he was appreciated by kings and others, but the people of Madras, they welcomed him en masse. As soon as he reached Madras, Vivekananda seemed to be on the high road to public recognition. 2. Here in Madras, Vivekananda met a dozen or more of the finest young men of the city who became his ardent disciples. Foremost among them was Alasinga Perumal. 3. It was in Madras that he decided to go to the west. And 4. These were the people who were eager to send him to the World Parliament of Religions as the representative of Hinduism. 5. It was here in Madras that he secured the funds to go to America. 6. It was his Madrasi disciples again who widely circulated his message even before his becoming famous in America. There are more reasons. We will come back to them. First, let us see how all these things I told now happened. In December 1892, Vivekananda reached Madras, and from the day of his arrival, he was surrounded by numerous visitors. Vivekananda was introduced to the educated public of Madras at the Triplicane Literary Society. In the early 1890s, these people got the information of the forthcoming Parliament of Religions to be held in Chicago in 1893. So these educated people felt this could be a wonderful opportunity for them to present the ideals of Hinduism and Vedanta to the world. When they heard Vivekananda's lecture, they immediately felt that Vivekananda was the best candidate to represent India in the Parliament of Religions. Alasingha and his friends met Vivekananda. They talked, they shared their views, their opinions on Vedanta and their motherland, and informed Vivekananda about their plans. Vivekananda agreed to visit America as a representative of Hinduism because he was already thinking along those lines, so here it actually became fruitful. Now, a committee was formed to raise funds for the tour. The task of collecting money was difficult. They even went door to door in hopes of getting some money. Finally, they gathered 500 rupees. Now, Vivekananda was a monk. He was inexperienced in the ways of the world, was about to sail for a far-off distant land, alone, unknown, to meet strange peoples and deliver to them a strange message. Those days, who knew about India or Hinduism or Vedanta or anything about that? So it was a very bleak condition really. And so he said to the disciples, "My boys, the Divine Mother must prove that it is her intention that I should go, for it is a step in the dark. If it be her will, then money will come again of itself. Therefore, take this money and distribute it amongst the poor." His disciples obeyed him without a word. Later, when Vivekananda was finally ready to take the journey, his team started collecting money all over again with new enthusiasm. And very soon they gathered 4,000 rupees, a huge amount in those days in India. And those who gave money towards his voyage were inspired not only by personal devotion to him, but also by the conviction that Vivekananda was destined to accomplish something great in life for India. Let me mention here a related event, though that took place a little later. In August 1893, even before the Chicago Parliament of Religions took place, Vivekananda informed Alasingha from America about the financial troubles he was facing at that time. Do you remember we discussed about those times? So after receiving this information, Alasingha borrowed 1,000 rupees from a merchant and even sold his wife's gold ornament to collect money for Vivekananda. Astonishing, isn't it? He sent the money to America through telegraph. One day there came to Vivekananda an atheist, the assistant professor of science in the Christian college, Singaravelu Mudaliar. He saw the realistic values of Christianity and criticized Hinduism. He came to argue with Vivekananda. That day Vivekananda was in exalted spiritual mood and he said openly, "If anyone touches me now, I can mold him in whatever way I wish. Will anybody dare to touch me now?" This professor didn't believe in spiritual power and boldly came along and touched Vivekananda. Finished. Truly, he was converted to Vivekananda's way of thinking and became his ardent disciple. All his doubts about Hinduism and the Hindu rituals vanished immediately. Vivekananda loved him very much and called him Kidi or parrot. Kili? Because of his eating habits. Kidi devoted his life to Vivekananda's mission. And when the journal Prabuddha Bharat was started in Madras at Vivekananda's suggestion, Kidi became its honorary manager. He later renounced the world to lead the life of a hermit and had a saintly death. One thing, have you heard about the famous Roman Emperor Julius Caesar? He conquered much of Europe and wherever he went, he just conquered the land. So he very famously said, Veni Vidi Vici in Roman, which means I came, I saw, I conquered. Vivekananda said of Kidi in joke, Caesar said, I came, I saw, I conquered. But Kidi came, he saw, and he was conquered. Meaning, Kidi came to Vivekananda, Kidi saw Vivekananda, and Kidi was conquered by Vivekananda. Amazing wit, isn't it? By the way, what is wit? Intelligent humor is called wit. Vivekananda had loads of it. That's why the educated people enjoyed his company even more. When plans for going to the West were taking shape, Vivekananda dreamt one night that his mother had died. He became very disturbed. He sent a wire to Calcutta. On the other hand, his Madras friends, with all arrangements ready, were insisting on his departing for America immediately. Yet, Vivekananda felt rather unwilling to leave before getting any news of his mother. So his host took him to Govinda Chetty, living some distance from the town. This Govinda Chetty was a Pisach Siddha, that is, he had got mystic powers over spirits. He could tell fortunes and read the past and future of man's life. So covering the distance partly by train and partly on foot, Vivekananda with his host and Alasinga reached the place. They found Govinda Chetty there. He was a man with horrid, haggard, soot black appearance like a ghost, sitting close to a cremation ground. His attendants used some jargon of a South Indian language to tell them that this was a man with perfect power over ghosts. At first, Govinda Chetty didn't took any notice of Vivekananda's group, but when they got bored and was trying to come out, that time Govinda Chetty indicated them to wait. Alasinga was acting as the interpreter. Govinda Chetty started drawing some figures with a pencil, and presently he became perfectly still in meditation. Then on his own he began to tell Vivekananda's name, his genealogy, the history of his long line of forefathers, and very strangely he said that SriRamakrishna was keeping close to Vivekananda all through his wanderings. He also gave Vivekananda good news about his mother, and he furthermore said, you know what? He foretold that Vivekananda should have to go very soon to far off lands to preach religion. Did you notice? This person in Madras had the true spiritual power to give so much detail correctly about Vivekananda's past, present and future. Anyway, receiving the good news about his mother, and astonished Vivekananda with his party returned to Madras. After arriving there, a wire came from Calcutta saying that his mother was all right, and Vivekananda was now ready to start for Chicago without any worry. See children, Though Vivekananda received very warm receptions in almost every city of America and England, and his Parliament of Religion speeches were covered by the most notable newspapers of America, in India there was no newspaper coverage. Nobody knew about Vivekananda's success in America. So, to popularize in India Vivekananda's efforts and success in America, Alasinga now organized a meeting at Pachaipa's Hall in Madras on April 1894. The meeting was attended by many notable and reputable people of the city, such as Raja Sir Savalai Ramaswamy Mudaliar, S. Subramaniam Iyer, Diwan Bahadur Raghunath Rao, etc. In the meeting, a resolution was passed to thank Vivekananda for his works and effort in America and in spreading Vedanta there. This was the first public meeting in entire India in honor of Vivekananda. It received wide media coverage, and then only other cities, including Vivekananda's hometown Calcutta, held such public celebrations. See, every single important matter started here in Madras. Other things. It was here in Madras also that Vivekananda started his first work in India in the way of organization and publication. So, this was the seventh thing the Madras people did for him. Under the inspiration of Vivekananda, his disciples in Madras like G. Venkataranga Rao, M.C. Nanjunda Rao, Alasinga of course, and others started in 1895 a monthly magazine called Brahmavadin. Later it became the Vedanta Kesari, and even Prabuddha Bharata was started in Madras. It was in Madras that the message of Vivekananda's master SriRamakrishna gained a ready acceptance. On his return to India, Vivekananda acknowledged this fact in his speech. He told, "It was your generous appreciation of him that I could bear his message to the world, and it is your innate spiritual instinct which saw in him the tidal wave of spirituality that is to break upon India," all these things, etc., etc. And after returning to Calcutta, here in Madras itself, Vivekananda sent his brother monk, who was as orthodox as the other Hindus of Madras, to start the first Ramakrishna Math outside Calcutta. See children, given his capabilities, Vivekananda would have left a mark in the world anyway. But do give it a thought that the people of Madras were the chosen instrument of God to thrust Vivekananda onto the world stage and to ensure that his contribution is acknowledged and remembered with honor till now, all over the world. The people of Madras deserve a big thank you from all admirers of Vivekananda, of Hinduism, and of entire India. There are numerous such wonderful incidents which took place in Madras, and we will hear about some of them in our next story session. We conclude. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat.